Do you mean to tell me that you're thinking seriously of building that way when and if you are an architect?
Yes.
My dear fellow, who will let you?
That's not the point. The point is, who will stop me?
Look here, this is serious. I am sorry that I haven't had a long, earnest talk with you much earlier. I know, don't interrupt me. You've seen a modernist building or two, and it gave you ideas. But do you realize what a passing fancy that whole so-called modern movement is? You must learn to understand, and it has been proved by all authorities, that everything beautiful in architecture has been done already. There is a treasure mine in every style of the past. We can only choose from the great masters. Who are we to improve upon them? We can only attempt, respectfully, to repeat.
Why? Asked Howard Roark.
No, thought the dean, no. He hasn't said anything else. It's a perfectly innocent word. He's not threatening me. But it's self-evident, said the dean.
Look, said Roark evenly, and pointed at the window. Can you see the campus and the town? Do you see how many men are walking and living down there? Well, I don't give a damn what any or all of them think about architecture, or about anything else for that matter. Why should I consider what their grandfathers thought of it?
That is our sacred tradition.
Why?
For heaven's sake, can't you stop being so naive about it?
But I don't understand.
Why do you want me to think that this is great architecture? He pointed to the picture of the Parthenon. That, said the dean, is the Parthenon.
So it is.
I haven't the time to waste on silly questions.
All right, then.
Roark got up. He took a long ruler from the desk. He walked to the picture.
Shall I tell you what's rotten about it?
It's the Parthenon, said the dean.
Yes, God damn it.
The Parthenon.
The ruler struck the glass over the picture.
Look, said Roark.
The famous flutings on the famous columns. What are they there for? To hide the joints in wood. When columns were made of wood, only these aren't. They're marble. The triglyphs, what are they?
Wood. Wooden beams, the way they had to be laid when people began to build wooden shacks.
Your Greeks took marble, and they made copies of their wooden structures out of it because others had done it that way. Then your masters of the Renaissance came along and made copies in plaster, of copies in marble, of copies in wood. Now here we are making copies in steel and concrete, of copies in plaster, of copies in marble, of copies in wood. Why?
The dean sat watching him curiously. Something puzzled him, not in the words, but in Roark's manner of saying them.
Rules, said Roark. Here are my rules. What can be done with one substance must never be done with another. No two materials are alike. No two sites on earth are alike. No two buildings have the same purpose. The purpose, the site, the material, determine the shape. Nothing can be reasonable or beautiful unless it's made by one central idea, and the idea sets every detail. A building is alive, like a man. Its integrity is to follow its own truth, its one single theme, and to serve its own single purpose. A man doesn't borrow pieces of his body. A building doesn't borrow hunks of its soul. Its maker gives it the soul, and every wall, window, and stairway to express it.
But all the proper forms of expression have been discovered long ago.
Expression? Of what?
The Parthenon did not serve the same purpose as its wooden ancestor. An airline terminal does not serve the same purpose as the Parthenon.
Every form has its own meaning. Every man creates his meaning and form and goal. Why is it so important, what others have done? Why does it become sacred by the mere fact of not being your own? Why is anyone and everyone right, so long as it's not yourself? Why does the number of those others take the place of truth? Why is truth made a mere matter of arithmetic, and only of addition at that? Why is everything twisted out of all sense to fit everything else? There must be some reason. I don't know. I've never known it. I'd like to understand.
For heaven's sake, said the dean, sit down. That's better. Would you mind very much putting that ruler down? Thank you. Now listen to me. No one has ever denied the importance of modern technique to an architect. We must learn to adapt the beauty of the past to the needs of the present. The voice of the past is the voice of the people, Nothing has ever been invented by one man in architecture. The proper creative process is a slow, gradual, anonymous, collective one, in which each man collaborates with all the others and subordinates himself to the standards of the majority.
But you see, said Roark quietly, I have, let's say, 60 years to live. Most of that time will be spent working. I've chosen the work I want to do. If I find no joy in it, then I'm only condemning myself to 60 years of torture. And I can find the joy only if I do my work in the best way possible to me. But the best is a matter of standards, and I set my own standards. I inherit nothing. I stand at the end of no tradition. I may perhaps stand at the beginning of one.